Welcome to the Birding for Joy podcast, a show about discovering and exploring all the ways birding and wild birds bring joy into our lives. I'm Candy Lynn Fight, your gracious host and joyful birder. If you're curious about learning more about birding for joy, grab your favorite beverage, settle on your perch, and let's get into today's episode. Greetings, dear listeners. If you've listened to the show before, welcome back. If this is your first time tuning in, I am so happy you're here. I know I said I would be bringing you a final spooky season episode about cemetery birding, but I'm afraid, no pun intended, it's not going to happen. It wasn't for a lack of trying. I recorded the episode. I even spent the first half of Halloween Day cemetery birding in the Austin area with several members of the Travis Audubon group and the author of the book Cemetery Birding, Jennifer Bristol. But as Thursday rolled into Friday, what little spooky mojo I had vanished. In truth, I found it extremely difficult this year to get into the festive spirit. I didn't decorate. Heck, I didn't even buy a pumpkin. Here's why. For the past few weeks, as the days creep closer to Election Day, I've had the awful feeling that the walls are closing around me. I'm on edge. I can't stay focused. My anxiety is heightened, and I feel like I'm teetering between fight or flight every waking moment. I'm a firm believer that birding brings us joy, but honestly, right now, I am birding just to keep my head above the water. About the only time I feel like I'm not drowning is when I am out birding, immersing myself in nature's glory. Being a witness to a forest teeming with life, I can suddenly breathe easier, deeper. My muscles unclench and I feel myself relaxing, my anxiety and worries slipping away. The longer I stay out there, the better I feel, and the longer I'm able to sustain the positive impacts. As my good Instagram friend Stella Miller so eloquently posted recently, birds in nature are a balm to the spirit, and I couldn't agree more. So, dear listeners, we are less than 24 hours shy of Election Day. If you voted during the early voting period, thank you, because your vote matters. If you haven't voted, I hope that you take the time to cast your vote tomorrow. Every vote matters. If you're undecided, please, the fate of America's democracy needs your vote. Keep this in mind. If you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. And if you know both of those things, you'll know who to vote for. If you're indifferent about voting or not planning on voting at all, I assure you it is not too late. I urge you to take some time today to consider these things. What is most important to you? What are you passionate about? What is essential to your family? What will be significant to you and your loved ones in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? The absolute best way to make an informed voting decision is to take time to educate yourself about who each candidate is and what they stand for. What are their values, their policies, their ethics? Over the past several months of campaigning, who speaks to you? How do each candidate's presidential goals align with what you and your family need? Who will serve you better as president? Remember, no regrets. Last-minute decisions count. No one but you needs to know who you're voting for. If you need a ride, ask a neighbor. The polls are open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and if you're in line before the polling center closes, you have the right to remain in line and cast your vote. And my birdie-ful friends, if you are still up in the air, ask yourself this one question. Who would the birds vote for? I don't know what tomorrow or the days following will bring. No one does. but we can all do our part. We can vote. We can let our voices and our choices be heard. We can remain steadfast and true to who we are, our values, and what we believe in. We can do hard things. Don't give up. And remember, hope is the thing with feathers. If you are enjoying the Birding for Joy podcast, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the show. Subscribing and tuning in to the episodes lets the algorithm on each platform know the podcast is providing you worthwhile content. It also helps ensure the success of the show. Remember, the absolute best way to support your favorite podcast is by word of mouth. So make sure to share Birding for Joy with others who might enjoy listening. That way we continue to build a joyful birding community. As always, thank you for tuning in and stay chirpy, my friends.